The guest is Mr. Homer Wheaton, and of course he's talking about coming to Tennessee State University. And of course, Mr. Wheaton, let's pick up where we left off with you arriving by train to Tennessee State University right out of Mississippi, and for the first time, real time, coming to a larger place.
Well, Dr. Haney, as indicated a few moments ago, I come from the country, and of course, coming to a big city where I'd never been before, I was quite frightened about the experience that I would have in Nashville. And I remember when I got off the train at the station here in Nashville, I got a cab to the campus. In retrospect, I know now that he really was not a person who had a license to run a cab in Nashville. It was somebody who just picking up folk that he could pick up at the station and take to where he was going. So that was a bit interesting. He took me to East Dormitory at Tennessee A&I State College, and I went into the dormitory and asked the person at the desk if he could help me to get in touch with Dr. Flowers. And Dr. Flowers, again, is the person who was responsible for me coming here. So this guy's name was Mabins. So Mabins says to me that, young man, you don't need to see Dr. Flowers. You need a room. You need to see me. So then Mabin assigned me to a room in his dormitory. So the next couple of days I was involved in orientation and still had not had the opportunity to meet Dr. Flowers, whom I had not met. He, again, was the person who was going to give me a scholarship. So after about 2 days, my roommate was from Tennessee, West Tennessee, and he came from very poor circumstances, didn't have any money to pay his way into school. And I think his ag teacher had contacted Dr. Davis, who was going to arrange for this young man to go to college. So this boy, whose name was Spencer Davis, encouraged me to go with him over to the president's office to see how he was going to register, to have money to register. So when we got to the president's office, he was in conference. We told the secretary why we were there, and she asked us to have a seat, and that Dr. Davis would be available in a few minutes. So when a few minutes later, the door to the president's office opened and out stepped Dr. Flowers. And my roommate knew that I wanted to see Dr. Flowers, so he began to introduce me to Dr. Flowers. Dr. Flowers, this is Homer Wheaton. He's from Mississippi, and he needs to see you. So Dr. Flowers asked me if I was a young man from Baxter down at Dr. Grantham's community. And I was so afraid, I said, "Yes, ma'am," loud and clear. And Dr. Flowers broke out in the biggest laugh, and he laughed about that until he died. But he told me what to do and when the scholarship would be available, and I shall always be grateful to him for what he did, for getting me to Tennessee State University, for getting me the scholarship. And he also got me a job on the institutional student employment program. And I remained on that program for the 4 years that I was in school.
Now this is institutional student employment. How did that operate?
It's kind of, we call it work aid. As a part of the president's budget, money for certain support staff like secretaries and those kind of people was put in to one budget, and the president had the privilege to also hire students and pay them from that same budget to work for the university. And I was able to do that, and I pretty much paid my way through college for 4 years on that program. It might be interesting to you to know what it cost to attend Tennessee A&I State College when I came in 1944. Incidentally, the scholarship that Dr. Flowers gave me was for $100. At that time, the school operated on a quarter basis. the total cost for attending school for a quarter, including room, board, tuition, out-of-state fees, was $84.70. So the scholarship that he gave me covered the cost for the entire quarter. He gave me about $16 back. And of course, Dr. Flowers told my father to give me $100 and send me to Tennessee State. Daddy gave me $150 and sent me, and I took my $150 to the Citizen Savings Bank and opened up me a bank account and kept a bank account during most of my years at Tennessee State because the work aid job that I had kept paying my fees after the first semester. And I was making about $35 a month on that program.
So you mentioned working that you met the president. I mean, tell us something about President.
Well, that was the first time I met Dr. Davis. I didn't know at the time that I would get to know him much better later. I guess Dr. Davis, in trying to develop a staff for the university, kind of put his eye on a few people that he wanted to watch to see how they developed, to decide whether or not he wanted to invite them to come back to work for the university. But anyway, I went on and finished college and took a job down at Shelbyville, Tennessee, teaching veterans. And Dr. Davis, as you probably know, liked to hunt quail and squirrels and rabbits. He was a great huntsman, outdoorsman. And we had some of the best squirrel hunting territory down in Shelbyville you could find anywhere in the country. So he would come down to Shelbyville 2 or 3 times a week during the squirrel season to hunt squirrels with me. And I could put him in just the best hunting environment that he could ever want to be in. And he could really do it without doing a lot of walking. Normally, when you think about going squirrel hunting, you think you got to walk deep into the forest. But I could take him out the highway, and within 100 yards, I could have him in some of the best squirrel territory in the country. And he could go out there and he could kill the limit of squirrels, and we could get back in the car within an hour, and he could head back to Nashville. And he certainly enjoyed that, and he'd come back and have breakfast and head to the office.
And of course, Ms. Wheaton, let's take this second commercial break, after which we'll come back and pick up at that point. We're talking to Mr. Homer